Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. What did I buy in December of 2023? Yes, we have an entire year until we get Christmas again. Very sad about that. First off, everything that was left over from Black Friday, plus what I actually purchased in December on this video. I have nothing outstanding right now. So, first off, Charizard Ultra Premium Collection. I picked up two of these for $83 each. These are amazing. If you have never treated yourself to watching an opening video of these on YouTube, go find one. Watch, look what's inside, how it's packaged. It's just gorgeous. I paid $83. Today's market price is 107, so I got these for 22% off of the market price today. If you want to know what I'm buying, when I'm buying it, sometimes before I even buy it, join the Patreon. That's one of the perks they get over there. Second up, Paradox Rift Build and Battle Display. Now this has 10 of the little build and battle boxes inside that each have 4 booster packs, a little starter deck, a promo, some other stuff. I love these. I buy 3 of these for every Pokemon expansion that they're available. I paid $115. Today's best market price is $127. So I only got it 9% off of the market price today. Remember, if you want to know where these deals are as I'm buying them, join the Patreon. Obsidian Flames ETB. I bought an entire case of Elite Trainer boxes of these, like I do for every Pokemon set. I paid $247 for the case. Today's market price, $280, so I got it 12% off. Now on to the most hated, Flesh and Blood. First off, Crucible of War Unlimited. I bought 2 more boxes of this. Remember, there's much less of this in existence than people acknowledged for a long time. I paid $63 per box. Today's market price is $74, so I was at 15% below what you would have to pay to go out and get these deals yourself today. Next up, the next most hated product in the market, Monarch First Edition. People are way too narrow-minded about this. Yes, 125,000 was a lot of boxes. It's been a long time since there were 125,000 of these boxes in the world. I bought 2 more this month, $73 each. Today's market price is $80, so I only got 9% off of today's market price. And of course, next up, Tales of Aria First Edition, 2 more of these at $58. Today's market price is $62, so 6% off. And finally, for Flesh and Blood this month, Everfest First Edition. I picked up 2 more boxes of this, so 2 of each of these boxes. $45 each I paid. They're $54 today, so I got them 17% off of market. Now, moving on to Magic. First off, Lord of the Rings set box. I picked up 1 more of these at $120. Can you believe $120 for a set box of something like Lord of the Rings? You know, in a healthy market, $120 is about what you would pay for a standard expansion set box. And yet here we are getting a premium product like Lord of the Rings for $120. Today out in the market, it's $147. So this was 18% off of today's market price. Next up, I picked up 1 more Lord of the Rings, the original collector box. I paid $306 compared to today's price of $403, so 24% off of the market price of today. And finally, for Lord of the Rings, though not finally for Magic, I got 1 more Lord of the Rings collector box special edition. I paid $230 compared to the $268 market price today, so 14% off. And finally, for this month, just to demonstrate my conviction, and because I think it's the very best product of 2023, it was the greatest product at the greatest prices, Dominaria Remastered. I bought 2 more draft boxes. You know, I'm actually going to just put them both up here just to make sure everybody understands I have conviction on this product. 2 more draft boxes. I paid $73 for these. Now, $73 is a ludicrous price. This is a half premium product. The pricing was half premium. Of course, it's a remastered set. As Professor said, it's a secret master set. I really think that the mix of cards in it was so rich. $73 for the draft box. go out and look at what kind of standard expansions you can get draft boxes that cheap. You'll find things like Crimson Vow and Streets of New Capenna. The market was really, really overreacting. And basically, the entire Magic market had become way oversold. And the Black Friday sales really kind of started relaxing that tension in the market. And you see a lot of products like DMR Draft, DMR Collectors, Double Masters 2022 Draft and Collectors, Commander Masters Draft especially, but also set and to a lesser extent collector boxes. You see a lot of products like that that were way oversold going into Black Friday and started to get a price correction to the upside afterwards because they sold so much product at way irrationally low of a price on Black Friday. I bought 2 more of these. $73 I paid. Today's market price, the lowest I could find out there, was $100. So I got 27% off of the market price. And finally, Dominaria Remastered collector boxes. 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 more. I paid $124. Just glorious. $124. Can anybody look at the content of what's in these boxes? The cards in this set, the treatments, the foils, the alternate arts, everything, and tell me that for a moment $124 has any downside risk? At this point, you could probably break these boxes for singles and get more than $124. And that's the kind of oversold state in the market that I'm talking about that we were looking at back on Black Friday. So I paid $124 today, the best market price I could find for more than 1 box. Some seller on eBay who has maybe 2 boxes. The best I could find was $194. So I paid 36% below market price. And this kind of underscores something that's hard for less experienced investors to understand, and I see it a lot even as it comes to now Ravnica Remastered and discussions of that. I published a video a couple days ago that was the initial R-14 Ravnica Remastered collector box sales data from TCG Player, and in the comments I had several comments from people saying things like, I'm not going to buy any of this, I'll never buy any Magic, I'm not going to buy any Magic in 2024, and that's kind of the newbie investor way of thinking about things. And that instead what you need to think about is not that Ravnica Remastered is a weak set card-wise. Yes, it is a weak set card-wise. Not that it's overprinted. Yes, it is overprinted. The problem with Ravnica Remastered is it's a weak set that's overprinted and it's $275. And you can imagine at some point, as we start, let's say we just start theoretically hacking $10 off the price at a time, and we cut it down to $265 and $255 and $245, and at some point, different buyers in the market will perk up and they'll say, at $185, that's a really great product, even though it was overprinted and it's a weak set. And maybe that doesn't happen widespread at $185. Maybe it takes $155. Maybe who knows what it takes. But at some point, buyers become interested because the remaining downside risk on a product is minimized to such an extent. And that's what kind of one of the many lessons that differentiates your more seasoned investors from your more amateur investors is just because this came out, yeah, it was very, it was overprinted. Let's be honest. It was overprinted, but the cards in the expansion are amazing. It is one of the richest expansions in a long time in Magic. And when it gets down to $124, trying to maintain the attitude that it's dumb to buy it at $124 does not work. So yes, at $230, I don't even remember what this first retailed at. It was about $260, I think. $260 to $270 was the initial kind of retail that a lot of stores were selling it at when it first released. That's my recollection. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But at $260, it didn't work. And the market told us that because it knocked the price down and down and down over 11 months until on Black Friday it was $124. And so you have to understand that as an investor, that just because a product at some point in its life is not a good value at a certain price, that does not mean that at any price, it's a bad value. The same thing goes for stocks. And of course, one of the best examples of the last several years is probably Boeing. Boeing killed 300 or 400 people because it was trying to pinch pennies on software and trying to maintain its market position, and it murdered 400 people over it. And for a long time, the stock really suffered. And then we had the lockdowns and planes weren't flying. So they weren't making money selling new planes or selling spares or upgrades or maintenance or training or anything else. And there was a lot of reason for Boeing stock to go down in that time period. But there was definitely a price at which every investor should have said, it's really irrational for it to be that cheap. And that's one of the lessons that you have to learn as an investor, is to continuously reevaluate the value of an asset based on its current price. Now, things can happen, and to go back to the example of Ravnica Remastered, Shocklands likely aren't going to become suddenly just much, much, much more desirable. Potentially, I've heard that Murders at Karlov Manor have Shocklands. Somebody correct me if that's wrong, but that reintroduces them to standard, which may give them a bump in their desirability for a while. But most of the time, the value of an asset does not change rapidly on a short time period compared to the cost of an asset. And so what does the asset provide value-wise is, well, it's relatively static in time, where the price in the market can fluctuate very rapidly. And so that's why it's important to always think afresh on an asset about what is it worth? What is it worth today at today's price? Because if we were looking at Dominaria Remastered collector boxes at $260, that didn't make any sense given just the fact of the print size and everything else. But at $124, at $124, I kind of regret now that I only bought 4 of them. But, I'm not yet made of money. I can't buy everything I want just yet. So, like I alluded to, Ravnica Remastered, don't buy too early, don't pay too much. Those are the words for the bear market, and especially for that set. The set looks incredibly weak. So far, even in pre-sales, the single card prices just are not holding up, even a week plus out from release. And the boxes are too expensive. I'm afraid stores are going to get slaughtered on this product again. Hopefully stores are not going too deep on pre-orders. Yet to be seen how draft boxes will do with the pre-dumps that WotC did on Amazon. As far as other dumps, yes, WotC keeps dumping on Amazon. Just last week, they were dumping Dominaria Remastered collectors, Brothers War collectors again. And this was not the Christmas dumps. This was between Christmas and New Year. They were dumping again. So I always try to put those up on the community tab on YouTube, just so they can be immortalized there, so we can look back in the future and see what the actual dump prices were and when they happened, so we don't forget. So look, guys, this kind of market for an investor like me, who has always been contrarian and counter-cyclical, this is my kind of market where people are capitulating, where even Rudy is going on profanity-laden rants about how bad the market is. I had a patron who said something very funny. It was like when even the biggest pumper in the industry, meaning Rudy, goes bearish, it's time to buy. And I felt some warmth in my cold, dead heart when he said that, because it was like, yeah, it really is. And it's a great opportunity as people capitulate, as people think that the tide will never come back in. So it's a great time to be buying great assets at good prices. So let me know what you think, what you bought this month. Deals out there you're seeing, interesting things. If you want to support the channel on Patreon, you want to know what I'm buying, when I buy it, sometimes before I buy it, you want to get the monthly newsletter, always have priority getting responses from me on questions, comments, ideas you have, things like that. Join the Patreon. It's $4 a month. If you get in on a single deal over there, it's likely to pay for the patron program subscription for you for years. I also have Pokemon deals over there that I do not post to YouTube any longer, because often Pokemon deals dry up really fast. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks to all my very generous patrons who make all of this possible and keep everything going. Thanks a lot, guys. Happy New Year. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join me on Final Trade.